Hi, in this video I would like to show you how to upload and edit websites restored by Archivarix. I will use a small single file Archivarix CMS. It's a script that you can download from archivarix.com. I will guide you through a very simple installation process, and I will show how to use different tools that will help fix and optimize the website. What you need is a processed website and a CMS script. Here I created a restore from Wayback Machine. It's an old website, maximumwebmaster.com. It has around 4,000 files. Most of those are HTML pages. To get a CMS script, you can click download CMS button, or you can click Archivarix CMS from the main page, and it will lead you to the same page where you can get and download the latest version of Archivarix CMS. I always recommend you to use the latest version, as the CMS gets new features and improvements frequently. Okay, let's start with the installation process. All you need to do is to upload a single PHP script to the main directory of your domain. So here's this PHP script. It's by default, it's called archivarix.cms.php, but you can also rename it to something else. It will not affect how it works. So here I uploaded this script to the main directory of the domain, and I open it in a browser. You can see the initial installation screen, and you have two options here. Here you can enter the serial number of your restore, or you can upload a file from your computer. I recommend the first way because you do not have to download anything to your computer and then upload anything to your server. Each website that is processed with Archivarix has its own unique serial number, so you click More and you see this unique code here. You can copy that code. Also, if you create a new copy with another settings, it will also get a unique serial number. You can also get the serial number in each email that you get when the processed website is complete. So I copied this serial number and I paste it into this field and click download. CMS script downloaded a zip file to your server, and you can see the information about this website. It's not yet imported, but you can see some stats here, like number of files, types of files, host names. In case that website has multiple subdomains, all you need to do for them to work is to add them as aliases into your hosting panel, and make sure that DNS records for those subdomains also lead to your server. Our script will take care of the rest, and all URLs will work at the same place as with the original website. I click a green button called Run Import, and the installation process begins. If you have a very slow server and a big website with thousands of URLs, you do not have to worry about timeouts. CMS script will refresh itself every 30 seconds, and it proceeds with the installation. Okay, all done. The first thing it offers is to set a password. So you click this set password, and here you can enter a password to protect access to this CMS. Okay, I need to log in with a new password. All done. On the left side, you see the website structure, all URLs that were processed, restored, and processed. On the right side, you see a dashboard with stats for this domain, with some information about your server. You can also see if you have all recommended PHP extensions enabled. If some are missing, they will be in red color. And you can always update the CMS from itself by using those buttons here. You can check for updates, and if you click update, it will replace itself with the new latest version. So you do not have to upload a new version manually. Updating CMS will not affect any settings that you have for the website or password, so you do not have to set a password again. I will start with the search and replace features. You can search and replace in the code of text files, and by text files I mean HTML pages, CSS styles, JavaScripts, etc. It's a very powerful tool. You can use regular expressions. You can add different filters to target pages that you want to alter. So in this example, I will change the title of all pages. And to do that, I will search for the title tag, and I will use regular expression. Without regular expression, it will search for the exact match. So here I'm using a regular expression, so that's why I select this checkbox, regular expression, and I will just add some information to the title tag. Okay, something like this. So let me do it like this. So I entered a part that I'm looking for. I entered the part that it should be replaced with, and I click search and replace. Here you can see that it found matches in 3,702 pages. And you also see the results. So for example, this title will be replaced with the same title, but I added something dash before it. And the same for every page. So to confirm those replaces, I should click confirm all replaces. But if you want to narrow your search, you can use filters. So for example, I want to add this code, but only to pages that are in blogs URLs. So for example, blogs. And again, I can use regular expressions here. So if you're familiar with regular expression, then you will understand this. So for example, I will do this change, this replace, but only in URLs that start with blog, like this. So I click search and replace again. And as you can see, it will do the replace only in 46 pages that have blocks as the first part of the URL. If I want to filter out more, I can create an additional filter. And for example, I will only do this replacement in a page if it contains some word like CO. So I click search and replace. And it's even less pages because all those results only start with /blogs and they contain this word. I can also create another filter that, for example, the URL should not contain something, or the HTML code should not contain something, etc. You can also use this tool for removing some parts that you, for example, do not need. So let's take this part, this code here. I click search and replace. I enter the code into the search for code field. I do not need regular expression because I'm looking for an exact match. Click search and replace. And as you can see, it found more than 3,000 pages that contain this code. So I just need to click confirm all replaces, and I will get rid of this code from all pages of the website. Okay, all done. All replaces are there. So if I go back again to any page, you can see that there is no code that I just removed from all pages. So yet I do not have to edit every page one by one. I can do this by using search and replace. I can also do similar things for replacing URLs. So for example, if I have some URLs and I want to rename them, so let's change those URL for authors. So authors, I want to replace them with something. I click search and replace. And as you can see here, this URL will be replaced to this URL. This URL will be replaced to this URL, etc. You can change the structure of the website, but also do not forget that if you change those URLs, just make sure that you also change the HTML code, so all links will lead to new paths. If you want to remove something, let me just click search and replace, so it will reset itself. For example, I want to find all GIF images on this website and I want to remove them. For that, I can use filter with meme type that should contain image/GIF. And into a search URL, I can enter something that is in every URL that this website has. For example, it can be a /sign, or again, if you're familiar with regular expression, you can use this one because every URL has a beginning. So I click search only. And here you can see that it found 109 URLs that are GIF files. If I do not need any changes in those files, but I want to remove them, I just click remove all found URLs. Here on this website, for example, let me just reset it again. I will use this authors URLs like this. I will use regular expression, so it will start with authors. So the URL can contain /author somewhere here in the middle, but I'm looking only for URLs that start with authors. Now I click search only, and it found 13 URLs. I click remove all found URLs, and as you can see, all authors URLs are gone. So with search and replace, you can do not only replacements, but you can also remove any part of the website that you do not need. And to narrow that part, you can use filters. And now we will go to the tools section here. I will start with the websites import tool. With websites import, you can add new imports, new websites to your deployed website. And for example, if you want to add some URLs from another time range, or if you want to combine multiple websites into one, you can just enter a new serial number of another restore. And it is similar to the installation process, but you will import those URLs and information into your existing website. You can also see the same stats here. And when you click import button, you can see different settings. So for example, I want to, by default, if I click import, it will overwrite your existing URLs only if this imported version is newer. Or I can also select that I want to overwrite all URLs with the ones that are inside of the zip file. Or if I want to combine some website and I do not want to overwrite anything, I can just use this third option, and it will import only URLs that do not exist here. If you want to import another restore as the subdomain, you can just enter the subdomain here. This tool might not seem very useful at first, but once you work with restored websites from Wayback Machine, you can understand that it is a very powerful tool, and it lets you combine different restores. It lets you combine different time ranges into one website and fix some parts that need to be fixed. If you want to reinstall the whole website, you will also need to download the website first here. And then I will show you later in this video how to reinstall the website to its first after installation state. I go back to Tools section. The next tool is website conversion to UTF-8. This works very good for old websites. So for example, this website was not, it's from 2006. It was not in UTF-8. And for search engines, of course, it will be better for this website to be in UTF-8 charset. So to fix that, you just need to click one single button. So I click it here, convert to UTF-8, and it will scan all HTML pages of this website, and it will fix them, it will convert them correctly to UTF-8. It will add meta tags to the HTML code, and it will work. So let me click, for example, this page, or let me click the main page, and it will work exactly as you expect it to work. So if I open the main page, it's working in UTF-8 now, but originally this website didn't. I recommend using this tool with every restore that you create. Next tool is allow website in Robots Txt. By default, Robots Txt that was originally on the website is used, but you can replace it with a Robots Txt that will open crawling of the whole website. And also, if you check this checkbox, Robots Txt will also include a link to the sitemap. The sitemap will be generated automatically, and once you do any changes like removing any URLs or adding new pages, those URLs will also be included in the sitemap XML. So you do not have to regenerate anything on your server, it will generate automatically on the fly. So I select this checkbox, just make sure that you are correct with the protocol and the domain name, because you may use the website not on the same domain as the restored one. So here everything is correct. I click Fix Robots Txt. So if I look for Robots Txt, this one, you can see that it's open for crawling, and there's also sitemap XML. Here it's automatically generated. You can add this sitemap to your Google Search Console, and you do not have to do anything to generate a new sitemap. It's the actual sitemap for your website. Okay, I go back to Tools. The next tool is versions in CSS and JavaScript. That is a very useful tool for websites that originally worked with WordPress, because WordPress adds versions number to CSS files, to CSS URLs and JavaScript. And for example, with the Wayback Machine restores, some of those URLs were never crawled by Wayback Machine, and they could not be restored. So that's why very often you see that some pages in Wayback Machines or some websites in Wayback Machine do not look good, they just miss the design. And the problem is in CSS that has this versioning. So the same CSS, but for example with another version, could be crawled by Web Archive. To fix such problems, you just need to click one button and it's done. So you do not have to worry about those CSS styles and JavaScripts anymore. So once you had the CSS with any version, it will be changed to a single version without those parameters at the end. And this tool will also scan HTML code of all pages and it will fix it. The same for PHP session ID that can be found in restores of old websites with forms. This single button just solves the problem. Okay, let me reset filter here. The next tool is remove broken links, and remove broken images is very similar. If you have some URLs on your website that leads nowhere, well, not in this case. Let me click this link, for example. And you click this link and it just redirects you to the main page. That means that this URL was not restored or was not downloaded. And in case with the Wayback Machine, that means that Wayback Machine never crawled this URL. So you cannot restore something that was never saved. And instead of 404 page, it just our script redirects you to the main page, so all backlink juice will be passed not to a 404 page, but to at least a main page. But you can also fix that problem so that search engines will not see any redirects to the main page on your website. And to do that, you can click this Remove Links button. all done. And it depends on your server speed and its hard drive if you're using SSD or NVMe. But don't worry if you have a lot of files and this process takes a long time. The CMS script will again refresh itself, so you will not have timeouts problem. So now if I refresh the main page, I can see that this link that was not working because it was never crawled is not a link anymore. It's just the anchor text. So right now this website does not have any internal links that lead nowhere. Only links that lead to a page that exists are there. And you can do the same for images. So if I click remove broken images, it will scan HTML code of all pages and it will just remove those images that do not exist here in the left panel within restored or downloaded images. And if you have images, if you added those images or those files manually, you can also click those checkboxes before removing links or images. It will check those URLs or images not only in its database of restored URLs, but it will also check those paths on your server. But you need to check those only if you have uploaded those some files or some paths manually, and they are outside of restored website, outside of CMS. Okay, so next tool is Viewport Meta Tag. For example, this website is quite old, so it does not have Viewport Meta Tag, but search engines prefer that. So to make this website more mobile friendly for search engines, you just click this single button, Add Viewport, and it will add meta tag viewport to all HTML pages of the website. And you can also set a custom viewport value, and you can override all viewport meta tags if they already present in your website. So this feature is very good for old websites that were not optimized at all for mobile devices. Keep in mind that this will not make your website adaptive to mobile devices, but it will just add a meta tag that is very good for SEO. The next tool is for fixing broken URL-encoded links. This is good for websites that have non-Latin letters and numbers in URLs. So for example, in some Japanese or Thai language, and if those URLs were not correctly encoded in HTML code, this button will fix that. So this should probably not be the case of this website, because as I can see from the structure, all URLs are... Oh, actually it found 2 URLs that were encoded incorrectly, so it fixed that. So this tool is also very useful if you work with some websites that have URLs in non-Latin letters and numbers. The next tool is work with external links. For example, this website has some external links, and let me check this external link. It has just target, so no rel attribute. And if we want to add nofollow to all external links, we use this tool. So you can add your rel settings here. So you can enter nofollow like this, and you can just click update external links. Or if you want to change the target, so I want to change it to blank, I also fill out this target field. If I do not enter anything here, it will not change the default target that is already set for some links. So I click update external links, and it will rescan all HTML pages, and it will fix only external links, and it will add rel nofollow to those links. It will change or add target blank, and it works only for external links, so it will not affect any internal links, and it will not affect any links to subdomains if you have some subdomains. So here I will refresh this page, and if I look at this link again, I can see that the target is blank now and it has no follow. So this is a very convenient tool to make all your external links no follow. Also, if you want to just remove all external links from the website, you can just click this red button and it will remove links and it will leave anchors of those links as a text. This missing URL tool is something that you can track URLs that do not exist, but they are requested with a browser, or somebody's trying to open those pages or URLs. So to enable them, you need to go to Settings, and in Archivarix Loader setting, there is Gather Missing Requests option. So just check this option here, click Save, and now if I refresh some pages, if I click some links here, and something is missing on this website, so for example some images or some JavaScripts, or if I go somewhere that is not on this website, I can go to this tool and it will show me those URLs that are missing. In this table you see the list of those URLs, and in the status column you can see a number of requests to those URLs. You can also see a link to this tool here in the dashboard. So here you can see missing URLs, and it has at this moment 2 URLs and 9 visits. So you can just enable these statistics, and you will see if you have some traffic to some URLs that you do not have. And later, for example, maybe you should fix those URLs, or you can create pages on those missing URLs if you're getting traffic there. But also you will see if some bots are trying to hack websites and trying to find WP admin directory. You will also see those requests here. So all the activity for non-working URLs is in this table. You can clear this table at any time, or you can disable it in settings, here in Loader settings. So it will not just be gathering this information, and it will not occupy additional space with this information. Okay, let me go back to tools. The last tool here is working with CloudFlare. So if your website is behind CloudFlare, you can add its zone ID and API token. And once it's done, so for this website, I enter the zone ID and API token, I click Save, and now I can see that it connected to CloudFlare. I can click Purge Cache, so it will just reset all cache in CloudFlare, or I can just turn on developer mode. So the website is still behind CloudFlare, but the caching is disabled for 3 hours. It will automatically deactivate itself in 3 hours, or I can do that manually here. This tool is very useful if you update a website that is behind CloudFlare, and since it's just caches some static files, you may not see some changes. So if you change the image and you do not see any change on the website, that's not a problem with CMS, because the information is updated. It's because the website is behind CloudFlare, and CloudFlare does not show you the actual version, but only the cached one. But also make sure that you disable cache in your browser, because if you work with websites, it's always a good thing to disable cache, so you will be not looking for problems that are not there. Next useful tool is history. So all changes that I made to this website, they are automatically saved as backups. And as you can see, at this point, it created 170 megabytes of backups. So for every change that I make, there is a copy that is created. You can also disable history in settings. So you go to settings, and here you click disable history. And if I do that and click save, it will also remove all backups that I have now. But first I want to show you how to work with backups. You can just select some things you want to undo and then click rollback selected. Or you can roll back everything and it will revert to the first state that we had after we installed this website. You can purge or remove those backups, selected backups. So you can remove all backups by clicking this button as well. So you will not disable history, you will just remove all backups. And another very useful tool are breakpoints. So here you can see that once we've changed external links, it created a new breakpoint. And you can see that it processed many external URLs. And if I roll back, I will also see another breakpoints. If I click this link, I can just roll back to any state of this website that was before. So for example, I just want to roll back changing external links. So the last state that I like is this one. So I just click that button, and within a few seconds, it will revert all those changes. And here we're back. Let me just refresh the main page and look at this link. You can see that those changes with external links are not there anymore. You can also, if you work with the website and if you do something and you are not sure if it if it will work correctly, you can also create a new breakpoint manually. So for example, I will just I will do some changes here. I click save and I can see this change in the history. And then I create a new breakpoint. I entered any name or a description for it so I can understand. So I created a breakpoint. And then if I just go to the main page and if I just remove some part of it, very important part of it from the code, I did not change this for the main page, so I did it for internal page, but this is not a problem. So if I go to history, I can see that I edited this URL and I can revert it to this state. So for that, I just click to this button and it's all back. And if I want to revert this change in the main page, I can also revert to broken URLs as the last tool that I used. Another tool here is Reinstall. So if you have import downloaded on your server, you can see that here in Reinstall. And even if you have multiple websites, you will also see them here. And once I click this button and confirm it, it will just remove everything that I changed here, and it will reinstall this website to its original state. This tool is also very useful if you work with different websites and you do not have to remove anything from your server and then import or download and upload again. You can just add a new serial number here. So for example, for this case, I will use this test recovery serial number. So this one. I go to Tools, Import Tools. I paste the serial number. So here we have two websites now. And in history, I can just switch between those websites. And by switch, I mean reinstall this current website with this one. So this will just replace everything that's from the website Maximum Webmaster to fire.com if I click this. The next is how to add trackers or analytics to all pages of your website. That is very easy to do. You need to click Settings, and here we go to Custom Files. In a Custom Files tab, you need to create a file. Let's just call it Google .javascript, and here we paste Google Analytics code. So I paste the code here, click Save, and now we can see that there is a file called Google.js, and it has the content that I just pasted. This is an example code. And to add this code, the content of this file to all pages, to all HTML pages, you need to go to Archivarix Loader, and you create a new custom rule by clicking this green button here. In a new rule, you just select the file that you want to include. You enter the key phrase, or you can just select some predefined settings here. So for example, for Google Analytics, we want to insert this code before closing head tag. So you can use this predefined rule. So I click this only. And I do not need to worry about those additional settings, but if I want to add something manually, for example, if I want to use regular expression, I can search for a key phrase with regular expression. I can limit the maximum inserts replacements. That is good for inserting, for example, AdSense on your pages. So you can just limit and to insert maximum 5 AdSense blocks. And you can set if you want to insert the code of this file, the content of this file before the key phrase, replace, that means just instead of the key phrase, or after the key phrase. So in this case, we select before because we need to add Google Analytics code before the closing head. And you're okay. Click Save. And now if you open this source code for any page, so for example, here's the main page, I click Ctrl U, you can see that before the closing head, we have Google Analytics code here. And if we click to any internal page, and if I look at the source code for that page, I can also see that Google Analytics is also there. So every page of this website now has Google Analytics. You can do the same for other things like adding ads or custom scripts, JavaScripts, or you can even create custom PHP files, PHP code. For this, I go to Custom Files again, and I create a new file. Let's call it random. And here I will use some PHP code. So let's just enter a random number from 1 to 1,000. Click Save. And now we have two files. They do not have to have extensions. So PHP file can be TXT file. and I want to include this. Let me just open some code here. So let's just paste it here before any title of an article. So I open the source code and I find a part with the title. Okay, so here it is. And I want to enter the random number here. Okay, so for that, I just copy this part, settings, loader, and I create a new rule that will insert this PHP file. The PHP code will be executed there. Search for a key phrase. This one, let's limit maximum inserts only 2, so only 2 inserts will occur on this on every page, and I will include this PHP, the output of this PHP file after the key phrase, so here. It's not a regular expression, so no for regular expression. Save, and let's refresh the main page. You can see that in two places there are random number. So those custom files and custom rules let you insert like Google AdSense blocks or something else in any part of your page. And if you need to, those rules are executed one by one. So this will be the first one, and then this will be the second one. If you need to change them, you can just switch the order of those custom rules. And if the logic requires that, it will work as you expect it to work. Next is information about settings. You can set a password or change a password here. You can also remove current password if there is a password already set. There's additionally a safe mode password. Safe mode is designed for outsourcing your website to someone else or giving access to edit your website to someone else, and you will, with the safe mode password, this person will not be able to create any custom file with the PHP executing source code, and this person will not be also able to edit the source code of any file, custom file that has PHP code. So this safe mode password is basically the same access to CMS. You can use all those tools, you can do search and replaces, you can create custom rules, but person that is logged in with safe mode password will not be able to do anything harmful for your server, and for example to browse on your hosting or to upload some PHP scripts that can be executed. So for example here, if I enter password, safe password here, I can log in and I can log out, sorry, and I can log in with the safe password. And as you can see, the safe mode is on. So I see everything here. Everything looks the same, but if I want to edit the PHP file here and add some exec method or something, it will not let me to do that. And I also cannot change any passwords here. I cannot restrict access by IP addresses. We'll get to that very soon. So anything that could be potentially harmful out of CMS will be restricted. Let me log out and log in as the admin. And in settings, you can also limit results in URLs here. So for big restores, big websites with, for example, a million of URLs, if you by default it's set to 10,000, so you will see 10,000 URLs here in this tree structure, and then it will have pagination. So you can work with really huge websites, but the tree structure will not hang your browser. The same for results in search and replace. If you are, for example, here, if I will look for an A button, an A letter, I will search in all files. And as you can see that there are more than 2 million matches for this letter, but only 5,000 results are shown here. So search and replace will also work on any size websites. You can also change the timeout in seconds in this parameter here. By default, it's 30 seconds, but if your hosting is really bad and it gives only like 10 or 20 seconds for PHP scripts to execute, you can lower this number. This is the time when a page should be refreshed on time-consuming processes like removing versioning or like search and replace. Disable history, I already explained about this checkbox. So if I select this checkbox and click Save, it will remove all backups that I have for this website, and it will just not create any new backups if I do any changes on this website. For custom domain, in most cases, you can leave this empty because restores and those websites will work on any domain, even on localhost. But if you have a domain with subdomains, if you have a website with subdomains, and if you uploaded it to completely another domain, for those subdomains to work in the same places, you just need to enter custom domain here. Or the same if you want to run a restored website on a subdomain of your main domain. Those are rare cases, but those cases are covered by these options. So you just leave this empty, do not set anything here until you really run your restores in an unusual way. You can limit access to CMS by IP address. You can also enter a seeder mask, but usually it's just enough to set a password, or you can just set only a safe password. So once you only set a safe password and no administration password, you will only be able to log in as in a safe mode. But also you can just rename the file of CMS script to anything else. It should be just a .php file with any name, and nobody will know that the website works with Archivarix CMS or this script is there. You can also, if you do some unusual changes here, and if you want to transfer or to copy them to another website, you can just download those settings as a JSON file, and then you will upload this file on your another restore, and those settings with passwords or limits and restrictions by IP will be also copied to another CMS settings. Users in safe mode do not have access to those features. Next tab, Archivarix Loader, is not really related to CMS, but it's more how website works for users. For example, about this loader mode, I will explain later in this video with information about WordPress integration. You can set a protocol for this website to work on. By default, it will work on HTTP and HTTPS, but if you want this website to be HTTPS only, you can set this and it will redirect all HTTP requests to the same URL with all HTTP requests to the same URL with HTTPS requests. Just be careful if you are working behind CloudFlare, because by default CloudFlare does all requests on HTTP only. So if you set HTTPS, this will just loop those requests, as every HTTP request will be redirected to HTTPS, and a new request will be made on HTTP again on HTTP. I already explained how to work with rules, custom rules. You can disable showing, for example, for broken images, if there is no image, the website will show a transparent PNG file, so the website will not have any 404 problems. The same for CSS, JavaScript, and icons. It will just show a blank file or a blank icon. You can disable this, but I recommend to leave them on, because it's just better to have a transparent image that does not affect your design than have a missing image that can affect your SEO. You can actually read about those settings here, what they do, but also another important setting is this one, Sitemap Path. By default, it's empty, but since in the tool sections we used Robots Txt tool, it just added the sitemap value here. If you have several sitemaps, or if you want your sitemap to be in a different path, you can change it here. So if I set it like sitemap.xml, it will work only on this path. Content directory name, you will never need to change this setting. Custom domain, it's the same as for custom domain in CMS. So if you want your website to work correctly on another domain, and if your website has subdomains, so for those subdomains will work correctly, only then you need to enter something here. Gather missing requests, that's a tool that will gather all requests to missing URLs. And you can do the same for settings. You can, if I click download, I can download JSON file that will contain not only those rules, but also those custom files. So if I set, for example, some trackers or custom scripts for one website, and I want to copy those settings to another website, I will just use this JSON file here in the Archivarix Loader setting, and those custom files and rules will be passed to a new website. So now let me explain how to add new content to the website. You can click this button, create new URL, and if I want to add a new page, I can enter any path here. I can select meme type. So for example, if I want to create HTML page, I will select this one. Or if I want to upload some file from my computer, for example, an image, I will just select the file from my computer, or I will drop it here. And you can see that it just selected the correct meme type because it's an image, and I can set a password, I can set a path here. It does not have to be the same name as the file on your computer. I will do it as 12345 JPEG, create, and the file is created in the structure of your website. And if I want to replace this file with something else, I can just drop and replace a new file here, and it's immediately updated on the website. Just remember, if you are behind the CloudFlare, do not forget to turn off, to turn on the dev mode or to purge cache. Also, if you want to edit any page, you can do that with a visual editor. That works good in most cases, but for some websites with extravagant design, it may not look so well. So for those cases, or for most cases, I recommend to edit the website in the code editor, where you can just do any change And if you open the website, you will see that it's changed immediately on the website. Just remember that all those files are static files. So if you remove, for example, this article here, it will not affect a URL or file with this article. If we need to create a new page based on some other page, there are two options. First of those options, so for example, let's create a new page based on the main page. You can clone this URL to something else, like this, and you will have a separate page that will have the same content as the page you just cloned, and you can edit this page and it will work on its URL and it will be separate from the page you just cloned. That's the first approach, and the next is a much better way. You find the page that you like. So for example, let me go back here to the website and let's click this block construction. Okay, so we will take this page and we want to create many pages that will look the same, that will have the same design, but they will have different content. And we do not want to change a lot of things in every page. So we want something convenient, like creating new posts in WordPress. So for that, I just look for this page inside CMS. So it's block construction. Okay, so this is the page. And I create a template based on this page. So I will name it, the template, I will name it test. Okay, all done here. So right now I can see at the top of the left side, there is a new section called templates. I can see the template that I just created. And now what I need to do is to set this template so I can create as many pages as I want based on this template. So for example, here I will change this title to something that I will insert with every new page that I create. So here I create, I will use string parameter. It has a few other options. So this is for inserting HTML code, this is for file, and this is for URL of this page that will be created. So in our case, for the title, I will use string type. I will name the parameter as title, but it doesn't have to be the same as tag or meta name. So I will just use the title so I will understand what to fill into this field. So title here, and let me scroll back, scroll down. Here I can see I can use the same title in this part. This is the content. Okay, I will not use this part. Table. I will also remove this table and this one. So here I will enter HTML and I will call it content, but it can be just text. It doesn't have to be the same. So content here. I will also add some meta tags that are not here, that are missing. So for example, I will add meta name keywords. And also description. Okay, so here I will use string keywords, and just to show you that it doesn't have to be the script desker, for example. And here it will be desker. Okay, I will also insert an image before the content of every post. So for that, I will use file, And in file, I will name it. And here I enter the image tag. So image source. And I will also make it 100% width, and it will have space at the bottom as one line. So here in the source attribute of the image tag, I will use this file, image1. Okay, all done here. Save. I click test. I think I can even improve this template if I add canonical. So link rel canonical, and here it will be HTTPS because I run this website on HTTPS, and I will use this URL. So URL, it has host name as reserved. This will insert the domain name, so I do not have to insert it here. Or if I work with only the same domain, I can enter it here manually. And path. I do not add a slash here because path always starts with a slash already. So here we are okay. Again, I click save. And I can also set how those pages should be named when they are created. So for example, here for the page path, I will use this title. And I want them to look the same as those originals. So they will have .html at the end. And for uploads, for those images that we insert into posts, I will use images directory, and the name of the file will be, for example, the title dot extension. Okay, so save settings only, all done. So now from any part of CMS, so from the main page, or if you work with some other URL, you can just click this plus button here, and it will show you this simple form. In this simple form, you can enter values for those parameters that we just set into our template. So here into title, I will enter something like lorem ipsum, keywords, something here, description, something here. As an image, I can select the image from my computer, or I can just throw it here into this area. As for the content, I have a small visual editor, so I can enter the content here, or if I have some HTML code ready, I can just paste it here. So you can see that it will be like more text with different formatting. Okay, so all is good here. We've just filled out all the information to create a new page. And as you remember, this page will be created with the structure that we wanted in our template settings, and it will use this title for the name of the page. So it will be title.html, but the title will be converted correctly. So if you have a title not in Latin characters, do not worry, they will be converted correctly. So now I click create. And here we have a new page. Let me open it in a browser. So here how it looks. It looks exactly in the layout of your website. I can see that I could also set the title here. So I think I missed one place in the template. Yeah, so for next posts, I will just also set the title here. Okay, and if you look at this page, you can see that this image has the name as I told the template to create. You can also see the images here. And if I want to add more pages, I will just fill out this form again, those simple fields, and it will create a new page. Let me create the same page with the same title, so you will see how it works. So it will not overwrite the page that is already there, and you might not know about it. So I enter some keywords, description. I will select another file and some text here. Or again, I can use predefine some another text. Okay, so the title is the same. So it will use this title for the URL path, but at the same time, it should not overwrite the existing page. So if I click create, you can see that it created a new page, but it understands that there is another page that is called that already, so it will add an incremental number here. And the same for the image. So if you open it in the browser, as you can see, we fixed the title here as well. And for this image, it's on another URL, and this is not JPEG, this is WebP, but if it was a JPEG file, it will be lorem ipsum 1. So with those templates features, you can add new content to your static website. And the last thing that I want to explain is an integration of Archivarix CMS with WordPress. And for that, I will just remove everything from this domain, from this website. I will install a clean WordPress, and I will show you how you can easily integrate restore your website with an existing WordPress website. And this is the last part of this long video. It's about integration, restored or downloaded website that was processed with Archivarix with your WordPress installation. You can integrate so that all restored URLs will work exactly on the same URL as the original website, and they will pass the original content, and all other URLs will call WordPress. I will use the same domain for this example. I installed the clean WordPress. I put some test posts there, so you can see that WordPress can be not just empty WordPress, but it can contain some images, posts, pages, etc. And what you need to do, here's our restore, is to upload a single PHP script, Archivarix CMS, download CMS, and when you open this page, you can download the last version, a zip file with the last version of Archivarix CMS, and you need to upload this PHP file to the main directory of your domain. So here I already did that, and when I open this page, it's on the same domain. You can see that if I refresh this page here in other tabs, you can see that it has a working website with WordPress. So now I will proceed with the same installation as in the beginning of this video. So I go to this restore page, I copy the serial number from here, and I will paste it into the serial number field. Download. Okay, and the process looks the same, but here you can see that there is a new checkbox. It says integrate with the found installation of WordPress. And if you need an integration, you need to leave this checkbox enabled, and you click run import. All done. If we go to the main page here, if I refresh the main page, I can see WordPress, so nothing has changed on the main page. But here I can see the structure of the original website. So if I click any internal page, but not the main page, And if I open this page in a browser, I can see that it works exactly the same way as the original website. So this integration works the way that on the main page, you have your WordPress. All WordPress links work exactly as they worked before. The dashboard is there. You can see posts that were created inside WordPress, but all restored URLs are here in Archivarix CMS, and you can edit them exactly the same way as I explained in the video before. And if you need to set the main page, not the WordPress, but your restored website, you need to click Settings, Loader Settings, and here by default, when integration is done, it selected this option integration with a third-party CMS. You can leave this integration and have it with this option. So the main page will be the restored website. So let me save this page. And when I refresh internal page from WordPress, I can see the internal page. And when I click the main page, I can see the restored website. If you need to disable WordPress and have only restored website, then in this loader settings, you will select these default settings, this website only. So when I click this, there is no WordPress anymore. Let me refresh this page. It has this restored website. But in case you do the integration, you will probably want this option with the CMS on the main page and all restored URLs exactly on the same place with the same content. So if you use expired domains because of backlinks juice, you will have backlinks exactly to the same original places with the same original content. And at the same time, you can, let me refresh this page. You can develop your website with the WordPress. You will not be able to edit those original pages from WordPress because technically that's impossible. Those are flat files and they are not structured within a MySQL database. So it is that simple. You do not need to edit any file in the WordPress. WordPress and the original site work on the same domain simultaneously, but at the same time they work independently. So you can work with the WordPress and add new pages and new content, and you can work with a restored website and add new pages or remove some pages from here and optimize the old website. Thank you for watching this video. If you came here just to watch how integration with WordPress works, that took only 2 minutes, but I also recommend you to watch this whole long video if you are planning on working with Archivarix CMS. If you think that this video was helpful, please press like under this video, and you can also see all parts of the video with the timestamps below in the description. So you can just press and go to a specific part of the video that you want to know about. Have a good day.